Alright, here we go. This is my story of Don't Fear the Reaper, the last level of A Station, and it is the hardest level so far, and it really defeated me before I defeated it. So let's just get right into it. I'm not gonna just explain the solution, I'm gonna tell you my thought process behind the whole thing. So I opened up the level and I looked at it and I was like, hey, sure. This looks quite difficult. We have 4 outputs and 1 input, and we have almost no space to do it in, and only 3 reactors, so that's going to be tricky. But wait, 2 of the outputs are the same as the input, so all I need to do is pass it on in a controlled way. That seems okay. What's going to happen? Well, in this level, what's going to happen is some nasty rocks are going to attack your station, or they're going to just mash it up. You don't want that, so you need the laser here to fire, and you need to aim the laser at the rocks so you can kill the nasty rocks and your station gets saved. Yay! So these 2 are for aiming, 1 and 4 are for aiming the laser. Well, like I said, that was pretty easy. So you build a reactor much like this. There's not much to it. You just, grab a methane with red and blue, and with the control mechanism, you just it sits at the control. Once you hit the control, it just goes, drops it, dumps it, and waits for the control to get released to get a new one. So it just only uses 1. So blue does the same thing. You think, oh well, that was pretty sophisticated. I did that. Next. What's next? Well, that's where you hit a little bit of a wall. The other challenge is to make hydrogen and nitrogen trifluoride, which looks sort of the same as methane, but it really isn't, because all the heavy stuff is on the outside, so you need to fuse a whole bunch of stuff into these hydrogens. That's what it looks like. If I just get 1 hydrogen and put it into the carbon here, I get the nitrogen, and I'm pretty much half done. All I need to do is fuse a bunch of stuff in there, and I can make that work. So I started making that work, and it just didn't. Because of the nature of the next methane that you're gonna get to fuse into all the hydrogens that you have outside of your would-be nitrogen trifluoride, the would-be fluorides go through a helium stage, which breaks the bond, which makes you go back to a bonder somewhere, but your nitrogen is not at a bonder, it's at the fuser. So you have to do a whole song and dance to get everything bonded back up again. That really didn't work, and I hit a wall there. I just couldn't make that compact and work, because by then you only have 1 reactor to do all that. So I went online and found a bunch of solutions. There's only very few videos of this challenge online, which was a good bit of a confidence boost. Most of the times you find about, let's say, 10 videos, 15, and they use a whole different range of methods. And in this case, 3 of the 4 videos used the same pretty brilliant method of not simply passing along the methane in the first reactor, but also breaking it up into nitrogen hydrogen, I guess, so NH3, and also making H2O out of it, so oxygen. And oxygen, of course, you can directly fuse into those would-be fluorized hydrogens, and that works. So yeah, that was a pretty good solution, but by that time I had given up on getting my own solution to work, until I saw the 4th video, which was a video from Loud Tristero, and it was just hysterical. I'm not going to even try to explain what he did, just look up the video, but it's it's a mess. It's hysterical, it's a mess, but it's his own. He made it work, damn it. And that's kind of the beauty of this game, that you get your own solution to work. You don't use other people's solutions. There's always a way to make your own thoughts come together and work. And they may not be the most elegant one, or they may not be the best way to do it, but it works. And that's what his video inspired me to do, is make my own thoughts work. So I went back at it and I looked at it a different way. I said, well, you know what, I've got this methane coming in, I need this stuff going out. You know what, I'm just gonna build this thing one by one and build it up in the output area, which is not a very common thing to do. Normally it's much more efficient to just build the whole atom first and then drag it over to the output, a whole molecule first and then drag it over to the output, instead of just bringing it atom by atom, which just takes a lot of time. In this case, however, I found it to be pretty good. I find I'm making pretty good time on it too. So what am I doing? Well, first of all, blue gets an input and fuses it, so he gets a nitrogen. I wanted to make one wall though do all the fusing and bringing stuff over, but that didn't really work for two reasons. First of all, the nitrogen needs to be placed in a whole different pattern than the fluorides do, and the nitrogen needs to be created in a different pattern than the fluorides do. So I thought, hey, you know what, I'm just gonna make blue do the nitrogen and red do all the fluorides, and then the cleanup of all the hydrogens that get left behind they can do for each other, instead of one guy doing all this molecule, one guy doing all that molecule. So once I had that process running, that worked. So let's see what happens. Blue, let's fast forward a bit. Blue eventually inputs his first, the first molecule, and right away fuses nitrogen. Bam, gets it, goes to the sink, and red can start cleaning up. Here we go. Red just bonds those two and outputs it. There we go. Blue grabs the last one and places it in this safe spot, so we can input a new molecule of methane. And red is now it's red's turn to start constructing stuff. So here we go. Red fuses again. We get nitrogen, but that's not the point. Blue, we need more. We need fluoride, so we need two of these to go in there. We sync up. Blue fuses right from underneath, and blue has to do the fusing because I needed this flip-flop to be in the fuser for red. There we go, to pick up once and then go through and grab that thing. Blue, meanwhile, has gone and went through this flip-flop. The first time it dumped the hydrogen, leftover hydrogen there to wait. And this second time it goes to the flip-flop and it bonds it, and it has a ready-made molecule to dump and output. Red bonds to the fluoride to the nitrogen, the fluorine to the nitrogen, and turns it around a little, dumps it back, so there's a new open space on the nitrogen to get the new fluorine. There we go. We do this 3 times. So there we go. And now blue gets to output his last hydrogen, and red has the ready-made molecule. Now I have to output it, which was quite a challenge. I couldn't build flip-flops here because I go straight up. I hit the wall, so that's not an option. I want to go, so I go up, I escape all the way up here, but now if I just go left, I'd collide into the hydrogen that's also around. so I don't want that. We wait for it to sync up, to be out of the way. We go down and we go through the same drop that was used earlier for setting it up for the next fluorine to come in, but this time we go through it vertically, we drop it there, and we can output it here, and we can start the whole thing again. And there we go, that's the whole solution, and this keeps going and going. I'm pretty happy with the way this turned out. It's still not the most brilliant ways. It's kind of a very simple method of doing it, even though the solution ends up being quite complicated. I use 102 symbols, which compared to Loud Tristero's, I think of almost 200, I'm pretty happy with that. So yeah, I kind of made it work, and I'm happy with that. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you start making more videos like this. I don't really like the standard videos that SpaceChem makes once when you just press the make video button. I don't even know where it is, because they're just too fast. You can't really see what's going on. So start explaining more of these and keep playing. I'll see you later. Bye bye.